Hey, good morning, everybody. So, today for our class, I'm going to go over what it was like to get the COVID test to find out if I was positive or negative for COVID 19 and kind of what the process is like, just so you know, when you go, you can understand more what it's actually like. Um, it wasn't that bad, I'll tell you that much. Um, so for Kaiser, what they have you do, what I did beforehand was I quarantined basically for 2 weeks and went to the store and bought food for 2 weeks at least, and got everything, all the provisions I needed in order to take the test, and so that I didn't have to leave the house except for to take my dog for a walk, which she still needs to get out and get her exercise. But that would be the only outside contact I would have with the world for 2 weeks before the test, because I wanted to make sure that the test would be negative. And so went to the store, bought a bunch of food for the last time, and it was kind of a scary shopping trip because you're around a lot of people, and when you're buying a lot of food, you have to stand in line for quite a while, and sometimes people don't really respect the boundaries that we're supposed to have. And it's difficult too when you're at the store. But that's what I did. I went shopping, bought stuff for 2 weeks, and then quarantined at home, and just made the meals, with the stuff that I had, and just took Ani for walks when she needed them. And then, so this last Saturday for me, on the 19th, I went in for my test on December 19th. And so here's how it went. So you have to have a mask on, of course. You pull up, and and I have Kaiser, so this is the Kaiser protocol. So if you have another provider, then the rules might be different for there. So but like I said, this is what Kaiser wants you to do. So if you do have Kaiser, this is kind of the way it goes, and I'm sure it's kind of the same for other places as well. But you pull up. There was a big long line. It's right behind on Nevin in Richmond. The Kaiser. It's kind of right behind there. But you can. They would definitely send you directions to the place to go for sure. And you pull up, and there was a long line of people, and you have to make an appointment. That is very important to know. That you need to make an appointment before you go in. Otherwise, if your name's not on the list, they have a way that they'll just kind of turn you around and say, well, you didn't have an appointment, so you're not going to be able to get your test done today. And so, both my wife and I, we had appointments for the same day within 10 minutes of each other so that we could both be tested together and just kind of make the process go faster for the both of us, because she also quarantined for 2 weeks as well. And then as you pull in, there was a huge long line, and what they'll do is they'll come up, and there will be somebody who will come over and they'll check with you to see if your name's on a list. They'll have a big long list. Like this is Kaiser, but they'll have a big long list of names of people that have made appointments, because you do make an appointment, and it was kind of crazy how many people were there and had made appointments for that day. I mean, there's a lot of people in the Bay Area, so it's make sure you make an appointment, because if not, there's a good chance that you might not actually be able to get in. And so you wait in line, somebody comes up and they say, what's your name? And then they'll take your information and say, okay, and they'll cross your name off the list and say, go ahead and pull over to this station, or go around a certain way, and then somebody will point you to the right destination to go. And then what you also want to have for Kaiser is you want to have your ID and your Kaiser card, and you want to place them on the dashboard of the car so that they can just see it. They can kind of scan it and know who you are, that you have a Kaiser membership, and then it's okay for you to actually go through. And so then you wait, they'll come check, and that's what they did. They came and checked, and then they'll ask you to roll down your window for the time, and so, with a mask on. And then they'll ask you to just kind of pull the mask down, just, so it just covers your mouth, just in case you cough or anything like that, because they need to be safe as well, and they have their personal protective equipment, or PPE, all on and ready to go, and they do this all day, every day. I'm very impressed with the job that they do. I mean, the healthcare professionals there, I mean, we're very thorough, and they have a very difficult job, and I really appreciated how thorough they were. And then what they'll do is, once you have the mask down here, they'll take the swab. It's about, I'd say about that long. And they don't put it up your nose, but they put it in your nose. And there's like a little cavity that it'll hit. And the person that was helping me out, what they did was they put it in and then just let it sit for a little while in a spot. And it wasn't that uncomfortable at all. I thought it was going to go like way up further. And it didn't. So I was happy about that. And then it sits for a bit, and then they kind of twist it. They pull it out. Yeah, my nose is running just thinking about it. And then they take another swab, and they put it up the other nostril and do the same thing. And then they'll let it sit for a little while. Just kind of let it absorb everything that's in your system. Then a little twist, and then they put it back inside the container and take it off to the lab. And then you wait. And so I'm going to read over what you're supposed to do once you've had your test. This is what you're supposed to do. So after the test. So I had the test. Like I said, I waited 2 weeks in order to get the test done. And, quarantine to make sure that, hopefully I didn't go anywhere. No fast food restaurants, nothing like that. Just, just at home, making food on our own. And this is what they say to do, though, after the test. It says, stay home unless you're directed by your doctor to come home in for care. And cancel any non-urgent appointments. Don't go to work or out in public. Avoid public transportation. And I, work from home, but still, just make sure you don't actually go. Like, I didn't go into work to pick anything up or anything like that. Avoid having non-essential visitors come into your home. So unless there's a fire or something, I don't know, like, there's no reason to have anybody else in your house. And avoid that until you get your test results. Have a healthy family member or friend pick up prescriptions if needed, or use your mail order pharmacy services. So a lot of things can be delivered by mail, or in other ways. I mean, there's Amazon, there's all sorts of, there's UPS, there's all sorts of places that can actually deliver things if you really need them and it's essential for you to have them. You can still do that. Wear a well-fitting mask or cloth face covering around others, even at home, and stay at least 6 feet apart, social distancing from others. Wash your hands often with soap and water or alcohol-based hand sanitizer, especially before and after contact with surfaces and people. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth with unwashed hands. Cough or sneeze into your elbow or a tissue, and then wash your hands and toss the tissue after. Like I said, we didn't go anywhere, but before we did, we always, whenever we went to the store or anything like that, Melanie and I would change our clothes and call them COVID clothes and get them in the wash, because we're around a lot of people, and it can attach itself to your clothes. So it's best to just kind of wash your clothes and start anew. But again, coughing here. Like I said, if I cough today and I was around other people, then this shirt needs to go in the wash. Eat by yourself or in a different room. Sleep separately if possible, and disinfect touch surfaces such as doorknobs and light switches. If you're being tested because of an occupation and you don't have symptoms, check with your employer for guidance. So that's more if you do have symptoms and it seems like that, and you're not sure, to make sure that you follow these steps. And, do your best as your best judgment, as it goes forward, because it's important. Because, a vaccination is around the corner. I don't know when it's going to be there, and I know a lot of people are afraid to get it. I will also do a video when it comes to vaccinations, because I am going to be vaccinated. So what I did after was I waited, and it takes about 3 days, depending. It was kind of interesting when I got my, when I finally got my test results. It wasn't exactly 3 days, and Melanie got tested right before me. And for some reason, I got my test results before her. And I don't know, it took a whole extra day, almost a day and a half, before she got her results. So it happens at intervals, and so be ready for that as well. And then I finally got the result, and my first result. And what happens with Kaiser is they'll give you one initially, and it says, and it's kind of interesting language, so if you want me to help you read it or anything like that, I understand. But the first result that I got, it said, because it's SARS, which is kind of it's linked with COVID-19, it is SARS. But it says COVID not detected, which is good news, because it wasn't detected in my system. But it didn't, and it'll also say, though, that just because I tested, and it didn't say negative, but because you got these results that COVID is not detected, that it doesn't mean that I still don't have it in my system. And it doesn't mean you're immune to the virus at all. So you want to make sure that you keep that in mind, because it doesn't mean you're immune. It doesn't mean you're 100% safe, and it's like, all right, I'm going to go out and have a good time now. All it means is that you're in a good place for right now. And then after a little while, after I got the COVID not detected, then I got another email from my hospital, and they said that I tested negative, which is awesome for me, that I tested negative for COVID-19. But it still says, it doesn't mean that you're not, there's not a chance that you can still be infected or get infected, and you're not immune to it. And the thing about the virus is that there's a lot of different studies that are going out. We don't know exactly what the damage is if you do get the virus. There could be long-term damages that people don't know about, and so it's best. I know a lot of people want to get out. A lot of people are tired of being at home. They have that COVID fatigue that we've talked about in other ones. And the thing is that we need to be safe and keep yourself safe, because again, it could be a lot more long-term certain effects on us, and we want to make sure that we're all right. But this video will probably come out after New Year's, so it's good information, and we'll need to do this, and we'll all need to do this before we get back to program. I'm not sure with the vaccination if it's something that we're going to need to do, each and every one of us. But like I said, once I get mine, I will let you know. But I hope you've had a wonderful holiday season and a very happy new year. It's going to be 2021, and hopefully it will be a much better year than 2020 has been overall. But there's still great things that happen and will happen. And I miss you all very much, and I'll let you go with that. And I hope to see you all soon and that we can get back to a sense of normalcy pretty soon. Okay. Miss y'all. Bye.